So this is the sculpture I just took from the kiln. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it with a gold. It's going to be a base gold. And it's really cheap, inexpensive paint that I got from Home Depot. So what I like to do is simply add a layer of this paint. And I put it on very liberally. And, you know, I really like how terracotta looks, but I don't like how terracotta feels when you touch it. I know I could apply various waxes and stuff, but I wanted to do this for now. In previous sculptures, I used this other metallic paint that I bought that actually has a faux patina, but this time I'm just going to use acrylics. I like acrylics a lot for doing this because they dry almost immediately and you can add different layers on top. So let's go ahead and just keep doing this. I'm going to fast forward the video and you're going to see this complete with a gold. One thing I'm going to be doing is applying a little bit of this. It's raw umber. I'm going to get this bigger brush. Just kind of lay it like this. I think I have too much water. See, every time I applied a little bit of the darkness, it gets stuck in the texture. And I kind of want that. And I'm applying it very loosely because once it dries a little bit darker, I think. So I will layer this out. And you can do this as much as you want just to get like the perfect patina. What I have here is blue, green, and some white, and it's very diluted because this is going to be kind of like a patina. And I'm just going to put it very fluidly over, and it's just kind of going to tone everything down. You could also use a cloth for this. So in nature, if there's a bronze or a metal sculpture, with water and the elements, it'll turn like this kind of greenish color. And I think I might have to mix in a little bit more green to kind of remove the bluish tinge to it. But I believe I should make it work with this. And I don't want to add too much. I'm just putting a very thin coat over this. And because I'm adding transparent layers on top of the gold still shines through. And that's what I want. I want to be able to see the colors underneath. So I have plenty of the blue patina. I just want to dilute a little bit more of it and spread it around before it dries. Once it dries, it doesn't become as glossy as this, but that's why there's another thing we have to do after this is done. But at this point, we really are just spreading this around and creating layers. So wherever you think you might want to put a little bit more greenish, bluish tinge, just add it on. And for me, it'll be more on the surface here as it drips down. It's as if rain hit a bronze sculpture outside. You want that water to kind of be coming down. Even though I'm not really trying to create a bronze look, I want it to be a little aged. But this is only the start. We're going to do a multi-day process on this patina, try to create something with wax as well. This has always been very difficult for me, creating these patinas. I used to just spray paint my sculptures, and somebody on the YouTube channel said, please stop doing that. That's so ugly. So I have really started to try to research ways of doing patinas. And, you know, YouTube is great, but there's very few people that actually have any videos doing patinas on online. It's really kind of sad. I wish there was more, especially for terracotta. Also, another thing I should say is that this is terracotta. The clay itself is really beautiful. And in a way, I'm kind of hiding that beautiful terracotta, that red. And I only do it because I don't like the texture of it, but I could easily create something with wax or add a little wax on top of the terracotta to make it really, really nice. But yeah, lately I've been trying to do this sort of stuff, create different textures and just kind of try and take my patina to the next level. And hopefully this will work. I think I've been pleased so far in the other patinas I created for sculptures. All right, this is it. I'm going to let this dry overnight. One of the things that it dried overnight, so it's pretty solid. I think it's a little bit too gold, so I mix a little bit more brown, and I'm going to add it. I have it kind of watery, but it's definitely going to tone it down a bit. And, you know, I can see the gold, which is nice, and I'm kind of curious to see if this is too dark. It might be too dark, but I'm just going to add the umber on top. As long as you can still see the color underneath is really what I want. And you can do this for, you know, hundreds of layers, just kind of varying it up. So I'm just going to go through, just add some of this color. And you can kind of stipple it like this as well. You can make it too gold, I think. I want a little bit more of a tarnished look. So I learned this technique, I've mentioned it before, from, there's an artist online called Joanna Modzzen. And I believe she's Canadian, and she's really good at this sort of stuff. She's an excellent sculptor. Check her out in the description below of this video. I have artists that I like online, so support them if you can. There we go. I'm just adding this everywhere. Once it dries, it's not going to become as intense as this, but there we go. And this is going to tone down the blue. And then I'm actually going to add more blue on top of this. But this just kind of dirties it up. You can also take, if you think this is too dark, you could take a cloth and just kind of wipe it down while it's still wet. Acrylic, I find it's a really good medium to use because it's kind of plasticky, so the tactile feel of the sculpture is going to feel much better, you know. But that's more of a personal thing. Get the front here. Yeah, you know, doing this sort of stuff is good. I tried it like a spray can before, and that hides a lot of the details of the sculpture. And you want to be able to use brushes because, and varying colors, like darks and lights. But I find that you always need some sort of base coat, like a gold or a metal or white, for whatever type of thing you want to do. But it seems to be a little bit of an art form, just painting a sculpture. And it's something like I never learned, like nobody has ever taught me. So, and it's never been on my radar. One thing that might be good to do is learn faux painting. F-A-U-X. That means fake. And that teaches you how to mimic marble, You know, people do that on walls, in homes, when they're painting, like in fancy homes and stuff. Finished applying the wax, and this is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is a very long process doing these sculptures, and I am learning on each of these sculptures what to do. Remember, I used acrylic, and then I added a patina, which is like this blue tinge, and of course I added a little bit more stuff like a raw umber to it to show some of the texture. And I finished it off with a nice wax. It's basically just shoe polish, and you buff it to create a little bit of a shine, and that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next video.